A Cloquet soldier who was on the brink of death has returned from the war in Iraq. His speedy recovery has been called amazing, but it's his attitude that is surprising. Reporter Renee Pasal tells us Brian's story.
House is a priority.
Sergeant Brian Saristo is walking tall these days, but 4 months ago, the 43-year-old soldier from Cloquet was fighting for his life. His Army patrol Humvee hit a roadside bomb. While 3 of his buddies escaped with minor injuries, Brian and another soldier were gravely hurt.
The driver lost his right leg above his knee, and then I lost both my feet.
But there was no time for pain, no time for fear.
You just try to get out.
Brian remembers he was awake during the whole ordeal and was helping issue orders to get the crew to safety.
When you're on a patrol like that, you don't really bring anybody else in. You don't want to make it a bigger show.
He was flown to Walter Reed Army Hospital in Washington, D.C. His wife Cheryl and their 2 young children, Brian and Leah, flew to meet him.
You know, he was on life support. They had a feeding tube up his nose and another tube down his throat.
Brian had lost his right foot immediately during the explosion, and the left was amputated in Iraq. Back home, the big hurdle was getting used to his new prosthetic legs.
It's new, it's painful, but you know you have to get over that, and you just got to drive on, because you know it's going to get better.
Most patients at Walter Reed spend many months, even years, in recovery, but not Brian. With his determination, he was out in 2 months.
We have heard so many times that he's amazing.
But he doesn't call himself a hero, and he doesn't want any pity. He's a loyal soldier, proud to serve his country.
The first time I went in was in 1981 to 1987. Then I got out for 14 years and wanted to go back in because I wanted to go to Iraq.
Brian even had to get special permission to re-enlist.
Well, it was kind of hard because of my age. So I had to go to Obastar and get a release from the reserves to go in there because my age limit was going to break, and then I wouldn't have been able to go back. So he let me go back in.
Looking back, he has no regrets. Even knowing how his life would change, Brian would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
You got to pretty much figure out that's going to happen to somebody while you're over there, so it's no big issue. It just happens.
Looking ahead, he plans on doing Grandma's Marathon on a bike, maybe even this June. And this fall, he's already spent time in the woods, deer hunting.
And for me, it's a new adventure. I mean, life isn't boring.
And what's next for this determined soldier, husband, and father? Maybe a return to school. For what else?
Prosthetics would probably be a good one, huh?
In Wright, I'm Renee Pasal for Eyewitness News.